Richardson. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Darren Stingley picks it, and the Texans are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. So they tried to take the deep shot there, but this defense up to the task.
And a lot of times when you air a ball out like this, if it does get intercepted, there's going to be a lot of space out there to set up a return. And remember, you've got 5 big offensive linemen out there playing on their feet in open space. Not a skill most of them possess that allows for extra yardage on the return.
So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't.
Touchdown, Houston. Takedown, 63 yards. And the Texans take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Stroud's going to try to throw for the conversion. And no, it falls incomplete. So the two-point conversion, no good. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a two-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst. And if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Second drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on first down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Second and 10. They go play action with Richardson. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Richardson looking to throw this. That ball caught by his rookie wideout. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That gain on 3rd down, good for 28.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive. Come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Well, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. And he's got Pierce. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 14. 23 yards the pickup there.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Here we go.
Back to throw. Here's Richardson. And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. Mo Alley Cox, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Colts are an extra point away from capturing the lead. Bouncing back nicely from that bad opening drive where he threw the interception. Drive number 2 leads him right down the field and into the end zone.
So obviously his confidence was never lost, and that's a good thing to see. Great quality to have, and you absolutely must maintain that as a quarterback. But I have to think that they're probably still on the script that they prepared for this game. Just the second drive, they've worked on these plays all week in practice. Put them to good use on that one.
And he is into the end zone to give him a 2-point lead. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. Houston set to take over. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
That goes for a gain of 31. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 36. Stroud to throw it. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. 8-6 the score after 1. Texans football to start quarter 2. As they go to work on a 1st and goal. Mixon is into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
But DeMeco Ryans, even with the defensive mindset, he'll elect to go for 2 here. They'll let Mixon try and run it in. And he got it on the touchdown run, but he won't get in here. He'll be stopped short, and they'll come up empty on the try for 2. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And the Colts coming out now. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
Ready, set.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Now it's Richardson. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
That's why you call a screen. You want to catch a defense overcommitting. plenty of space available, and that matched up perfectly. What a convoy he got downfield to pick up big yardage on that play.
Richardson looking to throw. Pass complete downfield. It's Pierce. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. 25 yards that time. Play action. Now Richardson. And he's got it. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Alec Pierce. A 24-yard touchdown. And the Colts are able to move back in front. And now the Colts are going to keep the offense on the field as they'll go for 2 here. Richardson will throw for it. And that is caught for the 2 points. So 2 successful 2-point tries now for them.
And you know what it does? It gives you a boost, a huge one for your team because, hey, you're dominating them now. They can't stop you either scoring touchdowns or 2-point conversions. But how about the defense? You don't know what to do at this stage. You can't stop them in any direction.
After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Houston's offense taking over again. These 2 teams trading touchdowns here in what has been a back-and-forth first half.
And ordinarily, we're trying to figure out how to break out of a stalemate. Here, you're trying to figure out if you can slow someone down while continuing your breakneck pace on offense. I know one thing. The people in the crowd, they're getting their money's worth right now.
And the fantasy owners like it.
Oh, without a doubt. They're just tallying them up, aren't they?
They're watching this game. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked up by Kenny Moore. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line.
And that's now the 2nd time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively. And you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
Yeah, Richardson back to throw it. A quick throw, but incomplete.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
Here's Richardson to throw. Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
Mixon with a first down carry. Evades the tackler, and now some space. And he's taken down inside the 30. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Throwing now is Stroud. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
When you run into slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
Here's 2nd and 10. Stroud. Eluding the pressure right. They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down.
They made a nice effort to stick it with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
Here's 3rd and 7. Here's Stroud. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another 1st down at the Colts' 12-yard line. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Quiddy Pay getting in there and burying him behind the line.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the 1st down as he's tackled at the 1. 2 yards is the pickup, and the Texans are going to have a 1st and goal.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep and a run up the middle with Mixon. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Defense really sold out there to stop the run. Understandable down near the goal line. Now on 2nd down, you have to wonder, might we see play action here and a flip right over the top?
Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
On that snap, he's a hero of his defense after the play he just made. A one-possession game, and his hit kept it exactly that.
This Colts D up to the challenge so far, but they need another stop here on 3rd and goal. Here's a run with Mixon. And Mixon not going to get there. Running into a wall here, and they'll stop him short. What a stand so far defensively, and now that's going to bring up a 4th and goal. So we hit halftime here in Indianapolis with the Colts on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second half ready to get underway. The Colts with a lead, and they will receive the football. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Colts offense and Anthony Richardson ready for this next possession. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Hey, Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think...
And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 67 yards. And the Colts come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the 3rd quarter. They'll look to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Jalen Petrie picks it off. So the ball changing hands on the interception, but meanwhile here we do have an injury on the play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. Now that should give him a spark. He's across the 40 to the 43. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
The throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Third quarter here in Indy. This is 2nd and 10. Stroud looking to throw. Got his man, Dell. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
And Stroud now to throw. Throw here is incomplete.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now Stroud. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. Shakes off but in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. Multiple players getting home there, and it's a loss of 2 on the sack.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
4th down, here's Stroud. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
And the Texans first down.
So after the 4th down conversion, now 1st and 10 inside the 25. Stroud sets up the play action. Rolling to his right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. And defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here.
They intercept Stroud again, the 3rd time in this game. And the Colts are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. It really doesn't get much easier than the last drive. One play, and they took it all the way to the house on the touchdown run.
And you know how many times we talked about that's exactly how they drew it up? Because essentially every play that's drawn up in an offensive playbook, if everyone does their job perfectly, should go for a touchdown, right? That's one that actually did. Give a little credit to those big fellows up front, too. They sprang their man for not only a big gain, but 6 points.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 47. Now Richardson. That's caught. It's Josh Downs. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
I know that no game in the NFL is ever easy, but they're making it look that way. Everything is being done with such precision. Just on this drive alone, 3 plays, 3 first downs. If you're on defense, you're scrambling, looking at each other, trying to figure out how are we going to slow these guys down.
He's got his man. It's Pierce. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it's second down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a first and goal.
Richardson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Derek Stingley picks it. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. So that potentially a turning point here this third quarter. A 2-score lead down to 1 now following the pick 6.
And that had to be the message at halftime for this defense, delivered and accepted. We need to go out there and make something happen.
So now the Texans offense back onto the field. They'll line up and go for 2 here. And he's got it. They convert for 2, and that gets them even closer. Now a 2-point game. And they turn the pick 6 into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalized a little bit on top.
And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. To his right. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. We have played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Indianapolis. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. Stroud working out of the gun. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Schultz. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Dalton Schultz, a 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Texans have taken a 4th quarter lead.
And there's a situation where as a tight end, once he gets that end zone in his sights, he's not going to back down from anyone. He doesn't worry about running to daylight. He doesn't mind running through contact. That's totally fine by him.
Stroud's going to try to throw for the conversion. And they don't get it. They tried for the 2-point conversion there, but unsuccessful.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation. This time, unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
Back to throw. Here's Richardson. Hits his target, the tight end, Mo Alley Cox. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Richardson looking to throw this. Over the middle, complete. That's Taylor. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
First and 10, Taylor now. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, second and 2.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stump that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They'll come to the line. This is 3rd and 3. Richardson off the play fake. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
The Colts unable to convert here on 4th down. And this Texans defense stands tall. So the failure to convert no doubt really hurts, but this one's not over. A good chunk of time on the clock and the timeouts.
Yeah, not only do they have the timeouts, as you just noted, they're going to get an extra one with the 2-minute warning. And that's going to help in big way. So in a sense, they have 4 timeouts in their pocket. The big thing, stopping them on defense now. They can't let them get a first down and make them use their timeouts and get in front.
And he is going to be taken down. They got him. As that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. The DeForest Buckner using those big hands and getting in there and bringing him down for the sack. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. They try to eat some clock with Mixon. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. They'll run again. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Stroud now on 4th down. That is caught. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one a backbreaker as they wind up converting there on 4th.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Inside handoff to Mixon. And a short gain down to about the 33.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Here's Stroud. That's caught by Diggs. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it. Obviously, Charles, such an important, well-executed touchdown, and that caps off what has been a strong second half. Remember, they trailed at halftime.
And how about the response? That's the type of thing that every team talks about before a season begins. Don't worry about the scoreboard at the half. Let's play strong in the second and come out and take the fight to our opponent. They did exactly that, and now they have the lead to show for it.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And now the rookie's free. One man to beat, and he will score. Touchdown, Colts. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
All right, now a big two-point conversion attempt still to come. Richardson to throw it. And unable to connect. They don't get the two-point conversion here. And this one incomplete. So the clock stopped now with 20 seconds remaining. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. That one looks like he'll throw here. That is intercepted. Picked off by Julian Blackmon. And nearly a touchdown as they finally stop him down at about the 3-yard line.
Intercepted. Sets up a first down and goal at the 3-yard line.
One last shot for Richardson. And it's caught. And he's into the end zone with no time left on the clock. And they're an extra point away from winning this game.
Well, that's the one they had to have. Put them in a position where they're tied up, but I got to get out of the way. We still got an extra point that's pretty crucial.
That's right, just one more element to complete the victory. And what do we make of this? A tie game. No time left. All they need is the PAT. They're going for two. Here's Richardson. And it falls incomplete. It would have won the game, but instead we're headed to overtime. I think we just witnessed the ultimate head-scratching moment. All they needed was the extra point to win the game, and they don't get the two-point try. Why did they go for the two-point conversion?
It is a head-scratcher, but I go back to when we sat down with them in our meeting, and they just kept coming back to special teams has just been not very good in practice this week. I wonder if that ghost loomed over them and decided not to kick it there and go for two, but still, I think your odds are a whole lot better just snapping and putting it down and kicking.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. You got to kick the extra point. So it's the Colts who are going to get a chance to win it here first as we're back underway in overtime. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Richardson out of the shotgun. Oh, and it's intercepted. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. What a big-time interception that is here on the first drive of overtime. And now, Charles, they're already knocking on the door with this short field. Remember, all they need is 3 points to win this game.
And that thinking just can't limit them on offense. The playbook should still be wide open. Get a first down, maybe 2. Do it safely. Nice throws that your quarterback can make. Nice runs that your running backs like. But make sure you get yourself in position and let your kicker have at it.
Going deep for Diggs. And this one is incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go up the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. On the bootleg, Stroud. I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Well, so far on this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Play action. Here's Stroud. Going deep for Diggs. Oh, and it's intercepted. And the Colts are going to have it with a chance to win the game here in overtime. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Well, this is a pretty rare situation here, Charles. You get into overtime, neither team coming through with even a field goal on their first drive. So now, sudden death with the time remaining. Next score wins.
And now I would say that,
and it's intercepted. And he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. Gigantic play by this defense, Charles. So they came back in the fourth quarter, took the momentum into overtime, and now they take the football.
And how do you think the team that just threw the pick feels right now? They surrendered the lead, got to overtime, had a chance to redeem themselves, and now they put the game in jeopardy with another pick. And guess what? Their defense has to hold.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Stroud to throw it. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Zaire Franklin. And the Colts are going to have it with a chance to win the game here in overtime. Man, what a battle. I mean, what a game this has turned out to be, Charles, as we're going to have now a 5th drive here in overtime.
I don't know how they're doing it out there because the focus, the concentration, that has to stay as high as the intensity, and it's hard to do with how hard-hitting this game has been. But at this point, you've got kicking in your background. Can you go down there and put one through the post so we can all go home?
I don't think they want me down there, but of course, we've said it multiple times. That's all it takes right now, 3 to win it. 2nd down, another run with Taylor. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. 107 yards rushing for him now as he was just trying to will his guys to an overtime victory.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
They run once more with Taylor. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's Richardson to throw. Now that's into the hands of Mo Alley-Cox, the tight end. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. Backed up deep in their own territory. They were in search of a cushion, and the cushion was found.
And you have to think total game, even in overtime. As a head coach, field position still counts in this spot. So they had to get out from the shadow of their own goal line, get themselves some breathing room. Obviously, that helps them on offense, but it may help their defense, too. Might be necessary here in OT.
From the gun, it's Taylor. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
Partner, this is a pretty good drive they're putting together, and I know if I'm on the other sideline, that offense, kind of helpless, isn't it? Because they may not touch the football at all, because if they go down and score a touchdown, this thing's over.
Absolutely, that would write an ending to this script. We'll see what happens. Yeah, he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. That last pass puts him over 300 yards now in the game. More importantly, though, big first down here in OT.
And the team around him has a lot of confidence now after picking up that first down. Everyone seems a little more energized. But did I hear you before the game call in and say, this is my quarterback for your fantasy league? Because he just gave you a good stat, didn't he?
He did, and I appreciate it.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. A give for Taylor running right side. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. Up the middle, here's Taylor. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. A big call here in overtime. They're going for it on 4th down. intercepted. Jalen Petrie picks it off. And the Texans are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Boy, that is just an absolutely crushing blow, Charles. They're already in field goal range with the seconds ticking away, and they throw the interception.
And I just wonder how they're going to handle that in the locker room and what they're going to talk about in a team meeting because, one, the play call in that situation, you got a chance for a field goal, and two, actually throwing the interception. It's going to be a lot to unpack with this team when they get together.
And with just 2 seconds remaining, the timeout is called here in OT. Stroud. He'll find Diggs once more on the completion. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Mixing up the middle, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of first downs, and here a loss of yardage.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Going deep for Diggs. And oh, that one going to wind up incomplete. Nearly an interception in the end zone. Probably should have been. 3rd down coming up.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space. Couldn't uncover at the end of the round.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Quiddy Pay picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number, it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Juju Brents. And the Colts are going to have it with a chance to win the game here in overtime. Well, partner, it's kind of like a hot potato right now. Who wants this thing? Both teams have had multiple possessions here in overtime, and neither able to pull away with a victory.
And I think both head coaches are scratching their heads trying to figure out what strategy is it going to take to give us a chance to win this thing, because rarely do we see a game get this deep into overtime. And by the way, partner, your plane just pulled away from the gate. You're not going to get home tonight. After what they faced during this game where they've given up a ton of yards downfield, there has to be a measure of revenge right there for the secondary. They've been shredded throughout the game and finally forced an incompletion.
That complete to Downs. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. Yeah, Richardson back to throw it. Over the middle, hauled in by Pierce. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 46. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Richardson to throw off play action. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 25-yard line. He's padding his already great numbers here in overtime. More importantly, they're moving his guys downfield.
And I I think that's exactly what's going through his head right now. Moving them downfield, putting them in a position to win the game. The stats, that's for the fantasy guys. I know they're enjoying that show.
Overtime with 2 minutes to play. We are in sudden death, but still all tied up. To the right side, this is Taylor. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He's had some big runs in this game. Not there, though.
But I don't think they're going to be deterred by that play right there. He's had some nice runs in the game. And how many times have we seen a good running back get stopped, yet turn it into something big on a later carry? I'd stay with him.
Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and makes sure he spills it for a small gain.
Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on 3rd down. Richardson. It's intercepted. Jalen Petrie picks it off. And the Texans are going to have it with a chance to win the game here in overtime. So their defense gives them the ball back. But now, Charles, you really got to start watching that clock. We're getting closer and closer to this thing ending in a draw.
Yeah, you just jump in the saddle on the line between aggressive and reckless, right? Because you want to move the ball downfield and give your field goal kicker a chance. But you also don't want to make the critical mistake and end up with a loss, because a tie, you'll take it. A loss, that would be hard to handle.
Now Stroud. Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Juju Brents. And the Colts are going to have it with a chance to win the game here in overtime. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving. Oh, and it's intercepted. Derek Stingley picks it. Shoves him aside near the 35. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. A costly mistake here in OT.
And you know what they say when you throw an interception like that in overtime? You don't usually get a chance to throw a second one. I mean, I'm not sure of the analytics on it. Let's ask Marvin, our statistician, to ring that down for us. That's typically how coaches and teams feel about it. You throw one, you likely cost yourself the game.
Now it's Mixon running right. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settle it, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. Stroud to throw it. Over the middle, he gets it to Collins. And the Texans are going to be set up with a 1st and goal here as the tackle made at the 9. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT.
And this will be caught. It's a touchdown. And absolute stunned silence here as they have come in and stolen this one in overtime. Charles, normally when you see a group score this many points, it's a complete blowout. But instead, they needed every single one of those in this close, high-scoring affair.
And, Brandon, I'm still on the edge of my seat after that one, because when you have that much scoring and it still comes down to a one-possession game at the end, that's not something we see very often. In this case, these offenses, they brought it. The defenses, they're going to need some work going forward.